Welcome to Talks with Tracy, with certified hypnotherapist, life coach, and licensed mental health professional, Tracy Claremont. Tracy will share her healing journey and explore the many meaningful alternative healing methods in our world today that will support you in doing your own deepest emotional healing. So please welcome the host of Talks with Tracy, Tracy Claremont. Let the suffering end and the healing begin.
Hello and welcome to Talks with Tracy. I'm your host, Tracy Claremont, coming to you live on the Bold Brave Television Network. Thank you so much for listening and joining me. I appreciate every single one of you who takes the time to listen to my podcasts. And also, thank you to Bold Brave Television Network for having me. I always want to show appreciation for them. So I have been talking for the last few episodes about doing healing, resolving issues, putting an end to suffering through the use of the subconscious mind. Now, I love to talk about those kind of things. In fact, I talk about that kind of healing all the time. And I love working the subconscious mind. In fact, it's our subconscious minds that are driving the bus, so to speak, moving us forward in our daily lives, coloring our perceptions, dictating how we experience our lives. And it's our subconscious minds that hold every experience, every memory, and the emotions attached in it. Like, everything is filed away, and we actually refer back to these past memories, experiences, and bring forth the emotions attached regularly throughout our daily living. 90% of our thinking is done in our subconscious mind throughout our day. So we're bringing up these old memories and old experiences and these old emotions all the time without even being aware of it. That's why I say that it's the subconscious mind that is driving the bus, right? So, we view the world and we interpret our new experiences through these glasses that are shaded with our past experiences. So that's why, in my opinion, our subconscious mind is the perfect, most efficient place to do deep emotional healing in. And hypnosis is the perfect means of accessing our subconscious minds to do that healing and resolve the issues. So now, the list of issues that can be healed with hypnosis is just really, really endless. It's virtually anything. I'll be delving into various issues and focusing on various issues that are commonly used with that are commonly healed through hypnosis in future episodes. But today, I will be answering the question, how does hypnosis support weight loss? So we'll be focusing on the desire to lose weight. So thankfully, I won't be answering this question alone. I have a very special guest today, returning guest, Katie Zieber, who is certified in the Rapid Transformational Therapy Hypnotherapy model, created by Marissa Peer, also known as RTT. I am also certified in that model, and that's actually how I came to know Katie. How we met was through that training process. Now, Katie has been developing her hypnosis practice and her website and just getting her business really going in the last few months since I had her on the show. And I can't wait to hear from her. But she has been working with clients who wish to reduce their weight. So she's the perfect person to have this discussion with. And we're going to talk about, how she does this and how she works with clients and what kind of supportive suggestions are instilled in the subconscious mind to support people in their journey towards improved health. So one of the things that the phrases she uses is weight release as opposed to weight loss, and we'll talk about why that is as well. But I can't wait to start the discussion with Katie about this hypnosis and weight loss. So please welcome the beautiful and amazing Katie Zieber to the show.
Hi, thank you, Tracy.
Hi, yay, it's so good to see you. I'm so
Great to
looking
see
forward
you
to our
too.
discussion today. You've been doing a lot of developing your practice recently.
Yes, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
Learning a
So now
lot. Learning
you have developed a website, and you are also um, seeing clients both in person and over Zoom for hypnosis.
Yes,
Is that right?
absolutely. Yes,
Nice.
yes,
Wonderful. All right. So, yeah, when we were talking, you said that you have been seeing clients for what you call weight release. So maybe we could
yes.
start there. Tell me why you choose that wording, and why that is your preference.
Well, I think weight release creates this better picture because when we think of loss, we think of losing something. It's usually a negative connotation that we have around the word loss. So when you think of release, you're thinking of just releasing something, or, what I think
Mm.
of is like a leaf flying in the wind. So you're getting rid of something, but it's in a much more calm way. It's not forced. You're not white knuckling it. You're just letting it go. So that's why I like the
Yeah.
word release.
Yeah, I agree. When you think of release, we use that word a lot when we're doing emotional work, right? Where you
Yeah.
validate feelings, process them, release them, and it feels
Yes.
good to just kind of sit back and release. So, a lot of times with weight release, there's a reason why people are kind of holding on to the weight as
Yeah.
well. So
Absolutely.
focusing on that release is an important thing. That's beautiful. So
Yes.
now, when we were doing our little talk beforehand, I always like to talk to guests beforehand so that we can get an idea of what we're going to talk about. We were talking about how I had done a podcast where I talked about my momentary relapse into old thoughts and behaviors. And it came as a result of overwhelm and stress and things like that. And you had mentioned
Absolutely.
that you had had something similar happen to you, right? Where you
Yes.
kind of slipped back. Can you tell us about that?
I have an issue where when I get stressed out, and I've actually just kind of realized in the past few days where my brain goes, because healing is not a linear A to B thing. It's kind of
Mm.
more like a spiral. So you learn more when you come back around, you'll fall back into old patterns and you'll learn a little more. You'll do it again, you'll learn a little more until it's kind of like it's a gradual release. So I had fallen back into the pattern of kind of suppressing feelings that I was feeling, like not enoughness. And I'll go into eating a lot of spicy foods. And so, which don't deal well with my system. And so then I end up getting
Mm.
sick and losing energy. But it's kind of like, I feel like it's a way for my brain to get me to look at what I haven't been looking at, make me feel
Mm.
something. So I'm actually honing in on the problem. But that's another example of it's not linear. You come back and you learn a little more about yourself, of why you do the things that you do, why the patterns are still there, and you kind of release gradually, a little bit at a time. So it's
Right.
normal.
So
It's absolutely normal to come back as long as you don't stay there. Yeah.
exactly. So I've often said one of the keys with not staying there is having done healing and have awareness of the cycle so that
Yes.
you can intervene. So what you're talking about is your awareness of when you are, we'll just call it like relapsing because that's the
Yeah.
word I use for myself. So
Right.
when you're having that issue, or so if we're thinking about food, so maybe we're like you relapsing into eating habits that don't serve you, and maybe spicy food, even though it doesn't sound like it would be comfort food to me, but to
Right.
you it
Yeah.
is, right? To you it
Yes.
is some kind of
Yeah.
comfort. So whatever other
Yes.
people's comfort food would be, maybe it's like, um, if I didn't have diabetes, one of my comfort foods would be donuts. Oh my gosh,
Right.
I
Yeah.
loved donuts. I can't eat them anymore, but I, I used to love them. So comfort
Yeah.
food for me would be like, 3 donuts or something like that. And,
Yeah.
just having awareness that these things might slip back in. But with our awareness, we
Right.
can be like, whoa, that's happening again. And we can kind of nip it in the bud, and we can use it, like you said, as one of those eye-opener moments, like, oh, okay,
Right.
so now my body's telling me that we need to get back on track because this isn't okay, this isn't healthy. And then we can use that
Absolutely.
awareness and that guidance to get back on track. So
Yes.
oftentimes when we think of like momentary relapses into old patterns of behaviors and old beliefs, it can involve food, right? I
Yeah,
mean, food is it's
absolutely.
very common. Yeah. Do
I
you
think a
find
lot
that
of
a
us
lot?
go there. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those addictions that is just it's so layered because we are taught so many things right off the bat about food and surrounding food and just the thought processes around food, and it's in our face all the time. We have fast foods here and advertising of these kind of foods. So it's constantly a program
Mhm.
thing in our head, in our culture. That's kind of where we go for comfort. A lot of us anyway.
Right. So is that something that can be revealed through hypnosis?
Absolutely. The reasons that you go towards certain foods can be revealed, or why you, instead of feeling the emotions that you have, you're choosing comfort foods over that. Or even it's just, there's a lot of different reasons that people hold on to weight. And it's not always just about eating, it's about an emotional reason. Like I had a client who she was, she had gone to a scene where it was about padding. She was trying to get padding. She needed padding to be able to not get spanked. She wanted it to not hurt as bad. So she
Mm.
held on to padding. And so yeah, there's a lot of reasons. It's not just food as far as the emotional process of it all. Yeah.
Right. It
There's a lot of
definitely
other
can be,
reasons.
yeah, linked back to um, all of those past experiences.
Yeah.
Just to share one of my own revelations that I had in a hypnotherapy session about weight. I've always um, noticed that with my body, I tend to hold on to belly fat, and that belly
Mm,
area is the hardest place for me to lose weight. And even when my weight is very low, I still seem to have this belly
yeah.
fat, right? So I asked the question in hypnosis what that's about, and in the hypnotherapy, we went all the way back to an in utero scene that where I was in my mama's belly, and I was about 8 months gestation, and my mom was feeling her belly and she was looking at it and she was so happy that her belly was so big. And um, this was related to the fact that she'd had miscarriages and she was feeling safe
Yeah.
and comfortable with a big belly because it meant that this pregnancy was going to come to fruition, and
Yeah.
everything was going to be okay. But it was such an energy of safety and comfort because of her belly and being big that
Yes.
was actually one of the memories that I went back to in my own search for why
Yes.
this is an issue for me. So we can go
Yeah.
way back with
So
these
interesting.
things, and yeah,
Yes.
there's so many things that can be uncovered that we just have no awareness of, and then
Absolutely.
healed and released. So
Yeah.
there's so much to be gained by that. So I am getting the cue already that it's time to take a commercial break. So we are going to cut to a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about these words and images that we create in our minds and how hypnosis can help us to shift and change those words and images and how effective that can be. So you're watching Talks with Tracy on Bold Brave Television Network. We will be right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back to Talks with Tracy with me, Tracy Claremont. I am here with the beautiful and amazing Katie Zieber, and she is a hypnotist who does work with people on weight release. She mentioned earlier that she uses the word release because it's a good feeling to release, and it's the opposite of holding on to, and it doesn't really create this image in our mind. It doesn't trigger our survival instincts, right, Katie, where loss is
Absolutely.
not conducive to survival in our minds.
Right. Exactly.
So if our brain is hearing that we're losing something, it may tend to try to hang on to it for its own survival. So again, using
Absolutely.
word choice is the words we use is really important. Plus, the images that we create in our mind are very important. So I myself, I used to be a yo-yo dieter where
Mm.
I would starve myself for 6 days and then gorge myself on my cheat day. And I
Right.
think now about how hard that must have been on my body. Um, I really
Absolutely.
didn't have awareness of how hard it was on my body. But then, like I said, I developed diabetes and I have an insulin pump that like literally shows me via my sugars um, how hard it is on your body when you mistreat it and how hard it has to
Absolutely.
work to process things and to deal with what you're doing to it. And when my body is working particularly hard to accommodate something that I've put into it, then my sugars actually go up. So, like if I ate
Right.
like a really fatty hamburger patty, my sugar will go up because it's my body's working so hard to process fat. And
Yeah.
I I could intellectually understand this before my diabetes, but I didn't appreciate this
Right.
process and what it was about until I actually had that. So,
Well,
can you talk a little bit about like deprivation thinking and whatnot?
yes, I think that's somewhere that we go mentally when we think of dieting, period. When we think of dieting, it's restricting, starving, guilting, shaming ourselves. It's kind of how the diet industry is
Mm.
kind of warped and brainwashed because we didn't know any better. We didn't know that we have to love ourselves and love our bodies through it, that we're
Yeah,
doing it
we
for a
really need to
purpose.
be taught that, right?
Yes, absolutely. And if you go with the intention of guilt and shame, it's restricting, it's depriving yourself of the things that you want. So what you really need to look at it is it's like a journey. It's a journey into loving yourself, a journey of learning how to love your body better. and giving yourself the right words and the right pictures in your mind of, these are the things that a healthy, happy person would eat. These are the things that will feed my body nutritionally what it needs, instead of looking at it like you're not getting what you want, because you will feel deprived and you will feel restricted, and you will fall back into those same patterns. It's not a sustainable way to think, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I would also add that we teach our kids this through example as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I can remember, not to criticize my mom and my upbringing at all, but I can remember my mom
Right.
doing like diets. She was, I mean, she was perfect. She wasn't overweight at all, but
Yeah.
she did these diets, and I have clear memory of that, and it did impact my own view of myself and my own behaviors. So I think we also really need to be careful the way we talk about our own bodies when we're
Absolutely.
around our children. So yes,
Absolutely.
the deprivation thinking is definitely something that we need to get away from. And you know, can you say some other phrases that we really just need to stop saying? You know, one that comes to my mind is "I can't lose weight." What does
Oh
that
yeah,
do to us?
absolutely. Right. Or I'm big boned, or I'm
Oh, that's
unable.
a good
Yeah,
one.
right. I'm
That was a
unable
really good one.
to lose weight. I can't stop eating the way that I'm eating. I won't be happy if I can't have cake, or,
Oh,
there, what's the point of life? I hear that a lot. What's the point of life if you can't eat what you want? But
oh wow. What's the
there's so
point of
much to be
life?
gained. Yeah. Well,
Holy
there's so much
cow.
to be gained from eating well, that people, they talk themselves into this narrow-minded view of eating.
Wow.
And you may not be able to have cake all the time. You may not be able to eat the pastas, but you won't miss it once you realize how much you have to gain from it, how much better you feel. Yeah.
Right.
So
So
there's
when
a
you're
lot of
doing
things to think
hypnosis
about.
with people, and one of the ways that you support this is, um, uncovering those beliefs
Yes.
in within, and doing some work around that, and healing around that. You mentioned the need to have padding. I know that I've worked with people who need to have padding or weight on for protection, right? Because they have trauma
Yes.
histories, and maybe they believe if they're heavier, they'll look less attractive to somebody, and won't be victimized, things like that.
Yes.
Lots of
Absolutely.
different things to heal within that. Lots of different reasons that we
Yeah.
that we hold on to weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I
had a
like that you
client
mentioned
who,
oh,
sorry,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I had a client who, she wanted to be bigger so she could sit in the front seat. So she felt that that's one of the scenes she went back to in childhood, was not being allowed to sit in the front seat. So if she was bigger, she would be able to sit in the front seat. So isn't that a
Okay,
wild
so
thing to just hang on to? That's a subconscious thought that it was buried.
right, it's
Yeah.
one of those memories and experiences. So
Yeah.
if we were to take that even deeper, that example, we could look
Yeah.
at in hypnosis, we could look at
Mhm.
what it meant to her to be in that front seat.
Right.
you
Absolutely.
know we could
Feel
find out, like,
special.
what was the meaning of being in that front seat. I mean, it's likely that it's related to being valued, being special, a sense of accomplishment, and now I'm big and I'm responsible, and I'm sitting next to my parent. I mean, there could be all sorts of
Right.
different things that could be uncovered,
Absolutely.
and that's the beauty of hypnosis, because you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into
Yeah.
the issue until you get to the real core, um, the core of the matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I am continually amazed by how our subconscious minds just take us right there. Do you have
Yes,
that feeling when you're working with
I do.
people?
I do. I just it's funny because I we bring up these scenes and sometimes I'm like, "Whoa, how does this fit?" But even, when the client is putting them together themselves, it all comes together of why it makes sense and how they have gotten to this exact reality that they have created with their own subconscious
Mm,
processes. It's incredible. It really
absolutely.
is interesting. Yeah. It's
I totally agree.
amazing. Yeah.
So, have you ever done hypnotherapy for weight loss or hypnosis for weight loss yourself, like on your own self?
Before I had my own weight loss journey, but I did not know about hypnosis for
Mm.
weight release. And so it's before I took RTT. Actually, I took RTT after I lost all the weight. And I realized what I was doing was switching subconscious patterns because before I lost the weight, I quit smoking. And I realized how many things are like based in addiction and addictive thought
Mm.
processes. So I was going through everything and rewiring the way I was thinking about it. And one of the things that I've noticed is a really big thing is um, going from thinking of something that is causing you pain as pleasurable to something that is obviously like if you're smoking cigarettes, that's not giving you pleasure, that's giving you pain. That is something that you
Mm.
can't do sustainably for the rest of your life. So it's causing all kinds of dysfunction and dysregulation. But I was also doing a lot of meditation, and so it was kind of like a self hypnosis type of thing at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. But understanding the basis of that and then being able to give that to other people in a way that made sense and understanding what I was doing throughout that process is sorry process
You're
and
fine.
helping people get there quickly. It's really a passion of mine.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Yes. So you mentioned meditation. Now, meditation
mhm,
um, is also work in our subconscious mind. We're
yes,
going to those same places that those same states of relaxation that are actually induced in hypnosis. So it's
right,
interesting that you did a similar process, only you did it, you didn't know about hypnosis and you used your
no,
subconscious mind anyway through
yes,
meditation.
yes,
Yeah. So you mentioned to me that there are different types of eaters. Then
yes,
these types of eaters are good to be aware of, so that first off, when you're working with people, and then also because when you know the type of eater, then there's affirmations that kind of can fit with that type of eater. Can you kind of talk about types
yeah.
of eaters and
Yes, there's
yeah.
addictive eaters, which I was, you can be more than one, but there's addictive eaters, emotional eaters, ignorant eaters, habitual, destructive, and angry eaters. So
Oh wow.
they all have, yes, they all have different things that they do. Like angry eaters, they'll want to chew. That it's getting so they'll eat like hard, crusty bread, and they'll need to like chew on a piece of meat just to get that anger out. Emotional eaters that when they feel sad they usually go for something creamy and sugary, so because it reminds us of when we are babies and we need comforted with mother's milk. um, Addictive eaters, it's pretty much the chemicals in the food, which there's a lot. So we get addicted to that constant eating, and that addictive eaters is very much like quitting smoking, because I was also an addictive eater, and everything that I had learned from quitting smoking was the same for addictive eating as well. So it was really easy for me to take this and put this here.
Mm.
But yes, ignorant eaters, they believe that even like pizza is healthy because it has tomatoes and it has the bread, and those things, you're getting a full meal, but it's different programming that we've had, different programming
Mm.
that people have had throughout their lives, and we're all working through different things. So
Absolutely. All right. So it's time to take another commercial break, but maybe when we come back, we can start there again and you can kind of let us know like what some affirmations would be
Absolutely.
good, to go with those different kind of eatings because we always want to, and we'll talk about this, we always want people to know that things are available to them right away and they can start,
Hmm.
you know. So
Right.
we will do that when we come back. So you're watching Talks with Tracy on Bold Brave Television Network. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Welcome back to Talks with Tracy. I am here with the beautiful Katie Zieber today, and she is talking about how she does weight release work with clients, obviously to reduce weight through hypnosis. And, we were just talking about, I always like to make sure people know that there are things that are available to them immediately to start moving towards what their goals are, and emotional healing, because so often people will think, well, I can't afford hypnotherapy, I can't afford a hypnosis session, or like lots of different things that cause them to believe that relief and healing is not available to them. And I really like to stress that healing is available to them, because there are things that people can do to start immediately, that they can start this process immediately. And that's why I stress the words, that we use in our mind, the images that we create. We can start today to shift those words and images. So when you
Yes.
were talking about different types of eaters, you there's also affirmations that go with those
Yes.
different types that you had mentioned. Can you share some of those with us, so maybe people listening
Absolutely.
could write one down and they could kind of start telling themselves better things?
Right. Absolutely. Well, as far as emotional eaters, I would say the biggest ones would be that food is not special. I am special. Like if you're
Mm.
going to go get something special like ice cream, or because you want to feel special, that's not what makes you feel special. Not the ice cream. You can just tell yourself, I am special. I am enough. I am wonderful. And there's a lot of people who eat to recreate a memory of a past loved one, or grandmother or mother. That food is not special. You are special. You
Mm.
don't have to recreate the memory through the food. You can recreate that memory inside of you just by the thought, you
Mm.
know. You don't need the food to make that emotional connection to somebody that you love.
Mm.
That's a really big one. There's also a pretty big underlying belief for most people with food issues, especially overeating, is that I'm not enough. That is something
Mm.
that you can tell yourself often. I am enough. I am worth it. I am worth feeling good. I am worth eating right. I am worth being healthy. I deserve this and it is available to me. Those are also really big ones. And that I matter, that you're important. There's a lot of people who also feel very restricted. There are no restrictions. There are only choices. You are choosing to
Mm.
eat better. You are choosing to eat healthier. I'm not restricted at all. This is my choice. I want to eat this way because I want to feel healthy. I want to be, clean and
Right,
healthy.
and I like that shifting from have to choice, because
Yes.
when we're caught up in, say we're caught up in like endless diets, again, that's the
Yes.
deprivation thought process that's going on. We can't have this, we can't have that, we can't. I had to myself shift my thinking from deprivation to choice and what I can have.
Yeah.
And uh, I think, again, to bring up my beautiful mother, um,
Hmm.
since I have diabetes, there's many things that I don't eat. And
Yeah.
I don't say I can't eat, because I could eat it. It just wouldn't be good for me,
Right.
right? It wouldn't be healthy.
Yeah.
So I can eat anything. I choose not to eat certain things. And my mom, she does show love through food and through feeding,
Yeah.
feeding everybody. And I really appreciate that. My whole family appreciates that. So when we go over to her house for dinner, she tries to make me like special little dishes that I can have, because it causes her pain for me not to be
Okay.
able to eat the other food.
Yeah.
But I long ago changed my thinking to I choose not to eat that. So it's
Right.
not a big deal. I don't look at that and think,
Yes.
oh my gosh, I wish I could eat that. I used to do that when I was yo-yo dieting.
Yes.
I had I
Yes.
had that thinking all
Absolutely.
the time. So I love
Yeah.
that shift to the word choose. I choose to.
Yes.
And then also I would encourage the thought of I can eat this, rather than focusing on everything you can't eat. You know,
Yes.
I
One
choose
of
to
the
eat
things that
this.
I would, yes, one of the things that I would do when I started was I would look up the foods that I was eating and all of the issues it was, going to cause down the road, like the highly
Mm.
processed foods or chips, they're inflammatory oils. So what you're doing is just eating inflammation practically. There's about a teaspoon of
Mm.
oil in each one of those chips. So if you're eating a whole bag of chips, inflammation city, So if you're
Right.
going
So
through,
let me
yeah,
let me just interrupt for a minute. So that is a great image to instill
yeah,
in your mind. Even like a
yeah,
little, even if you just picture a little equation where you have a picture of a chip, and then you put equals
yeah,
inflammation in my body. Like, if that's what you can equate, I mean, you can go from I can't
yeah,
just eat one to
right,
my knees are going to be completely inflamed. Those are
right,
two very different pictures to create in your mind,
absolutely.
and your brain will respond to whichever picture you choose.
Yes, absolutely. And then I would go through the healthier foods and see all of the things that are nutritionally good about it. Like it has antioxidants, it's got, it supports the immune system. So I would start changing the way that I thought about the healthy foods in that way, in that manner of look at all the good things about this healthy stuff and all of the bad things about the stuff that is already causing me pain, but I have like pleasure to it. So you're just kind of casually relinking these foods in a different kind of way. And that
Right.
is a huge step. People think that those kind of shifts are that you have to overhaul everything immediately. That's not so. You're going to overwhelm yourself really fast doing that. But even
Hmm.
just bringing attention to the way that you look at foods, building awareness around the way that you look at certain foods, that is a massive step forward. And that doesn't cost any money. It just costs awareness. That's it. We're building
Right.
awareness
Absolutely.
around it.
And
Yeah.
we all know that when we're told, or even when we tell ourselves, I can't have that, it kind of just makes you want to have it more,
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely. That's a one-way ticket to doing exactly what you think you're going right for it.
Ah, yeah, absolutely. So again, shifting the imagery in your mind is something that you could just close your eyes and take some deep breaths and go inward, not even deeply inward, but go inward some, and then start putting these images in your own mind.
Right.
It's great to have guidance from somebody like you or I, and to go through a hypnosis process or a hypnotherapy process. Those are, it's really nice to be guided through the whole process. But I really do want to stress for those people who may believe that they don't have access to those kind of things, that you can start in
Right.
different ways right now in your working with your subconscious mind, and just really telling yourself that you are making good choices. Not that you want
Absolutely.
to, but that you
Right.
are making
Yes.
good choices.
In the
And this
now.
is
Right now.
in the now. Yep. Yeah. Our
Hmm.
minds don't think about, they don't think in the future. They don't think about in the past. Sometimes, I mean, granted, we live a lot in the past, but our
Yeah.
mind isn't going to say, okay, in 2 days, we're going to do this. And then 2 days, click on and do it. You really need to think
Right.
in the now, and you need
Yes.
to use those phrases in the present terms.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah. And our minds believe what we tell it, right?
Yes. Yes, it does. It's
Yeah.
like a
I
compass.
mean,
So you need to point your arrow where you want to go, not, in the past or in past thinking. You need to point it
right.
and have that focused intention. Yeah.
Nice. Focused intention. That's so true. So I will
Mhm.
say, given what you just said, I do want to bring up that weight reduction hypnosis, it is not like a magic wand. Like you're not waving a
No.
wand and like ping, and now weight will melt away from you. It actually involves and requires some positive intention on the part of the client and some
Yes.
commitment. So, what I have found when I've done weight reduction hypnotherapy is we have resolved issues that cause people to hold on to the weight, and we have done healing. And then past that, it really does depend on the client's motivation and willingness to listen to the self hypnosis, to um, really develop, pat down those pathways, right, that they're creating and developing. So it does take extended effort and
It does.
ongoing effort. These are lifestyle changes. I found that when people come to me with this idea that um, it'll be like completely magical and they won't have to put any effort into it, I've found that that kind of is linked to some core beliefs still
Yes.
that
Yeah.
are not resolved. When they want somebody to do it for them, then the likelihood of it working is poor, right?
Exactly, exactly. It needs to be a strong intention of your own, a strong belief that it can and will happen, and you are going
Hmm.
to do it, whatever it takes in order to get it there. Obviously,
Hmm.
hypnosis makes it a lot easier because you're repatterning your brain, and after those 21 days, it becomes a new habit. But there's a lot of
Hmm.
habits when it comes to um, weight release. There's a lot of habits, there's a lot of layers, there's a lot of, you know,
Hmm.
programming from environment, from you, for everything. So And everything is energy. And if you can bring energy that is greater than your want to stay where you are, you will be able to make a change, and you will continue
Mm.
to make that change. So if you keep feeding yourself
Oh,
those positive words, those positive affirmations, and building that energy, you'll be able to completely, sustain that throughout your journey, and it will become a new you, a new way of looking at the world. You'll understand your cycles, you'll understand how change goes, and you'll just get stuck in that, that wheel, that spiral. You'll be able to
right.
make those a lot more easily.
Absolutely, a healthy one.
Yeah.
And again, hypnosis is a great way to support a person in that journey.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. It's time to take another commercial break. When we return, we'll be having our final segment, a few closing words. So please join us for that. You're watching Talks with Tracy on Bold Brave Television Network. We'll be right back.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to Talks with Tracy, with me, Tracy Claremont, coming to you live on Bold Brave Television Network. I have been visiting with the amazing Katie Zieber, and she's been sharing some things. I really liked, Katie, what you were saying at the end of the last segment about, shifting energies. And,
Yes.
our mind is going to do what we tell it to do. It's going to react to the words and the images that we create. And, we live in this society that sets these awful standards, I'll say for women in particular, not trying to be biased or anything, of what beauty is, what a perfect body is. And then, it's, to me, it's kind of heartbreaking to see so many people
Absolutely.
trying to live up to these unrealistic images that bring you away from loving yourself and
Yeah.
being your authentic self. So, can you talk about that from an energy perspective?
Absolutely. Well, I instantly thought of, high school. My daughter's in high school right now, and how, we get into this mode of just picking ourselves apart and finding all of the
Mhm.
things that we believe is wrong with ourselves and that we wish we could change, but we can't change. Or, you know, there's so many things that you stare at yourself in the mirror and you're picking yourself apart. And when you're doing that, you are creating a massive energy deficit in yourself. Any of the negative thoughts you think about yourself is making you weaker. It actually causes a physical reaction in your body, and and you're training yourself, you're programming yourself to constantly search out the negative in you. So it is really detrimental to us as human beings to consistently look for all of the things that we believe is wrong, or try to hold up to these beauty standards that are just, it's, you're
Mm.
never going to get there. You're never going to be happy with yourself. You're never going to feel enough if you're picking yourself apart. It's the same thought process. It's deprivation. You know, you're deprived of feeling good about yourself, so you're never going to get there with that energy. So yeah,
Absolutely.
telling
Yeah. And
yourself a different story is needed.
right. Even
Yeah.
if you feel like Marissa Peer, she says, even if you feel like it's a lie, you're already
Yes.
telling yourself lies
Yeah.
about yourself, right? You're already telling yourself
Yes.
subconsciously lies that you're not good enough, that you're unworthy, that you're unlovable. So Marissa Peer, she says frequently, tell yourself a better lie. So even if it
Mm-hmm.
feels like a lie, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself that you're beautiful, or even if you just say, I love you into a mirror, even if it doesn't feel genuine at first, the more you practice that and the more
Yes.
you practice um, love and gratitude for your body, you know,
And feeling that. Feeling.
the more of a habit it becomes,
Yes.
and the more
Absolutely.
positive energy that will serve you well will come. Yeah,
Yes. Absolutely.
absolutely. So
And even if it feels uncomfortable at first, do you want to stay believing all of these negative things about yourself? Or would you rather have or live in a world where you're telling yourself a really great story about yourself? Would you rather love yourself or would you rather hate yourself? So it kind of just comes down to that.
yeah, and again, these are all things that people can start immediately to start
Yeah.
um, shifting their words and their images in their minds. Can start
Yeah.
right away today. So visualizing is important.
Yes.
Was that right?
Visualizing is extremely important. So if you're doing that, whenever you get the chance, visualize yourself at your ideal weight, what you would be happy with. Something that is healthy, not something, like I want to be a size 000 or anything like that. Feel the feelings that you would feel at your ideal weight. Feel how your
Mm.
life would change. It might take some time to get through all the details, but the more you are programming your subconscious mind with this visualization, the
Mm-hmm.
better. Yeah, it's your subconscious mind is going to take you right there. Like I said, it's like a compass. You have to point the arrow, and if the arrow is pointed towards the future you want, then that's exactly where you're going to go subconsciously. It rolls 95% of our life, the subconscious, so it's going to take you to your destination. Don't white knuckle it. Don't, try to force it. Believe that it's already yours and you're just in the act of receiving it. So do that all
Absolutely.
throughout
Oh, I
the
love
day.
that.
Yes.
Believe
Yeah.
that it's already yours and you're in the act of receiving it. And also,
Yes.
as part of that, that'll be using words as that indicate or tell your mind that it's happening now. It's
Yes,
happening in the
exactly. It's
present moment.
happening right now. Yes, I'm already
Yeah.
receiving it. That is already me. That is who I am. I'm just in the act of receiving it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that and talking with me today about weight release hypnosis. Can you please, Katie, share how we could get a hold of you if we want to do a session with you or follow you?
Absolutely. Well, I have a website now, and it's Katie,
Yay.
Katie, Zieber, Zieber, hypnosis.com. So that's my website. And you can also get a hold of me on Facebook at Katie Zieber Hypnosis.
Yeah,
So
I
any of
noticed
those.
on Facebook you post a lot of cool things, and then there's also been
Yeah.
some TikTok things that you've put on before, and
Yeah.
kind of sharing your own journey that has been really special. So thank you so much, Katie,
Yes.
for being here. I so appreciate it. Um,
Absolutely.
and
Thanks for
thank
having
you.
me.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody who takes the time to listen to this podcast. I appreciate you as well. So, next week, I will be having another incredible guest on the show. And she is a returning guest as well, Shirley Mitchell. She is a hypnotist, a spiritual adventurer, a songstress, a master hand analyst. And, she's going to be talking about some of the other things that we can do in hypnosis, like past life regression, or going and having conversations with our souls and kind of figuring out our purpose and things like that. And so that'll be a great discussion as well. So please join me next week for that. Until then, you've been watching Talks with Tracy with me, Tracy Claremont, coming to you live on Bold Brave Television Network. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
This has been Talks with Tracy. Join us each week as Tracy and her guests will come together and realize that underneath it all, we are all the same and never alone. So join us each week and let Talks with Tracy be your safe place to land in your healing journey. Right here, Thursdays, 11 a.m. Eastern on